Better.
And I'm some dude who lives out in New Mexico. I joined the Marine Corps in 2019. What was the first real interesting thing I did in my life? I signed a security force contract. I was in FAST for a little bit. Fleet anti-security team, way cooler than that, way less cool than what it sounds like. In fact, we called ourselves fake ass SEAL teams. Uh, didn't see any combat. 2019 to 23. If you were in the Marine Corps in that time, you almost certainly didn't see combat unless you were like MARSOC or something like that. Then got out and been using my VA bennies. Went to school, learned a little bit of welding, all that stuff, and I just kind of always been listening to this stuff in the background, and this is my first real time participating. Yeah.
Yeah, you're real good. You're real good at talking. You came with a lot of energy this time. I'm glad. You seemed hyped up that you wanted to do it. Huh?
Oh yeah. All
And
right. So
no, I know we disagree. Obviously, tell people your political stance now and whatnot. But if you ever need any help with your channel, I can help you out. Just let me know.
Oh, thank you.
I know we disagree, but besides that,
I mean, I haven't really posted any videos, but I'm just dipping my toe in. But like my political beliefs is, I'm not an OG Never Trump Republican, but I'm currently a Never Trump Republican. I wouldn't say super duper conservative. I consider myself a civic nationalist. I'm very against this current administration, mostly
it's interesting that you mentioned that. My friend calls Trump a civic nationalist.
I don't think he is.
I'm not here to debate that one for you, but my friend and you could probably have a good conversation about that.
Sure. Let's look at his name. Time. I've talked with him a few times.
Don's. You ever talked to Don's before?
I don't think so. I mean,
he's not too active recently.
I mean, I've talked to Times a couple of times. I mean, me and him disagree, but he seems like a pretty smart dude. I can hold a conversation with him. So, man, just
he's a yeah.
So
he's been in the Iraq, in Panama.
Yeah, he was telling me some of the stories, like some crazy shit.
Stories.
Did
you ever talk to a guy named J Money before in the Discord?
Probably not. I mean, I'm not super active on the Discord.
No, I know.
I mean,
I've seen you a little bit recently, but you're living in Mexico now?
I've been living in New Mexico pretty much my whole life, excluding the 4.5 years I was in the service.
Oh, did you get citizenship in the United States?
I was born a citizen. I have, like, New Mexico is a part of America. Like,
you're in New Mexico. You said Mexico.
Yeah, Oh, sorry. I must have misspoke. I didn't get good sleep last night.
I've been to New Mexico before, but you said Mexico.
Yeah, no, I live in New Mexico. Funny enough, I met a few people in the Marine Corps. Yeah, Santa Fe is a cool city. If you like art and everything, I don't like interacting with the people there. There's the whole artistic Santa Fe spiritless girl. It's a whole thing. Like if you've been in Santa Fe for any amount of time, you learn to type really quickly, and they're very obnoxious. Like, oh, I'm so spiritual. I'm like, check my crystals out. All that shit. Is cussing allowed on here?
Huh?
Is cussing allowed on here?
Is cussing allowed? Oh, cussing, yeah, go ahead, cussing, go ahead. Yeah, just don't say any, don't say the F word, for gay people and whatnot, trying to say that.
No,
and
agate?
Don't say, huh? No.
No agate? Oh, I like that word.
No maggots. Okay. Other than just calling me a maggot.
No, I deliberately don't call Trump supporters maggots because that's dehumanizing language, and I try to avoid doing that because on I have I haven't done like super deep dives, but I have looked into atrocities across the world, like particularly the 20th century, like the Third Reich, Germany. I don't know the.
What, you think that Trump supporters are Nazis? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, oh, okay. How about the Holodomor? There we go. It's Clinton's left the communists who did that. So, and when you look at the Armenian genocide, you look at the what people were saying at the time. They were using very dehumanizing language to describe the group that they ultimately portrayed violence against. So,
Oh, so you're talking about the Democrats or the fascists? There's something I can agree with you on. Democrats are the fascists.
Democrats are not fascists. That is not what I said.
We're fascists, so.
I mean, they're well. I mean, fascism is specifically a far right ideology, and
You
they're
sure
closer
about
to
that?
being
Mussolini
yes.
didn't create fascism.
Mm.
He wrote a couple articles in a book. The guy that wrote the book about fascism was very far left.
I do know the early fascists were a part of communist groups early on, like Mussolini, for example. But when
Part of the
you look
reason
in,
that fascists sometimes had
well,
issues with other. Go ahead.
when you look at fascist Italy or fascist Germany, you look at there's a lot of effort to put into preserving their idea of what German or Italian culture was. They
Well, every country can
actually
do that. They still do that today. Are they Nazis?
the Democrats don't seem too terribly interested in preserving culture like that. They
No,
don't
but I'm
seem
saying in
interested in
other
that.
countries they still do that today. And most of the world they still do that today.
Well, I mean, so preserving culture is not inherently fascist, or
Is
I
it
mean, like
bad to preserve a culture?
so. Well, so what I'm saying here is like that
Is it
thing
bad to
that
preserve a culture?
fascists do.
Is it bad to preserve a culture? Like, should I want Italy
No,
to be full of Italians, or should I be like, okay, North Africans, come on in, North Africans?
no, I mean Europe's. I think the European immigration policy has been a bit of disaster. I mean, you talked
Okay,
about this before, and I said
okay.
that it's like the comparison of European immigration problem. It's not comparable to the United States. I mean, we don't
Why? The United
really.
States is 100 times worse.
It's not 100 times. Well, I mean, Europe it's like 100 times worse because, well, I mean, those countries
In
are right
America, it's a
there.
hundred times worse than Europe.
I would, I would completely disagree with that. It is not 100 times worse in America.
I
Like we're not.
no, not too long ago, I seen France's immigration problem in person, and it was pretty bad, but it wasn't as bad as like New York or LA or one of those places in America.
Well, I mean, France is not all of Europe, and
Okay,
also from what I
Spain.
understand,
Ours is pretty bad.
mm, well, I mean, do we have like Muslim? Well, I mean, there's
Yeah,
Deerfield, but
yeah,
like,
yeah. We have the terrorists. Yes, not all
I mean,
Muslims are
I don't.
terrorists, but we
I
have those sleeper cells. We have Iranian sleeper cells. And you want to know something
um
fucked up? Every single time the Democrats shut off pieces of the government, certain stuff happens. Like the last time they shut off the government before this time, they literally had no control over investigating the sleeper cells during the government shutdown. So they stopped investigating all the Iranian sleeper cells when they shut down the government. That's what the
uh
Democrats want. They're Islamists.
I don't see how Democrats benefit from Islamic terrorism. Like they actually seem to
They
uh
benefit from open borders.
Oh, so this is the claim that illegals vote in elections?
Well, we can say that too, but that's not really the main way I'm talking about. They don't care about voting. They care about money. They make money off illegal alien immigrants.
How do they make money off of illegals?
That they have these large corporations, and then the corporations hire the illegals for like pennies on the dollar, and then the company makes a fuck ton of profit, and they exploit them.
Well, I mean, those companies donate.
Two
Those
hundred billion
corporations
dollars of company of
those
$200
those corporations donate to the Republican Party as well.
What
Like you,
corporations? Yeah, but who's the one that lets the illegals in? There are some Republicans that like illegals too. Don't get me
well,
wrong.
so in
Or
agriculture,
some that don't dislike them enough. Some that don't
okay.
dislike
So
illegal alien immigrants enough.
let's break this down a little bit. So uh, illegal immigrants disproportionately work in agriculture, and farmers tend to vote for Republicans more often than Democrats. So I mean, I don't. Well, so like that's a case of
Farmers have been a
Republicans.
long time Democrats for a long time. You can literally look this up.
Well, I
I
mean,
come from a
yeah,
family full of
I mean,
farmers. All of
yeah.
them
If
were
you, I
Democrats.
mean, yeah, if you go like back to like past
No, like
like
the Democrats that are like 40, 50, 60 years old, they're all Democrats.
I mean, the farmers overwhelmingly voted for Trump. So, I mean, I don't know
What?
where
I
you're
need to
getting
see a
that.
source for this. Both of us are just talking shit. We need to compare sources.
I mean, there's been polls done of farmers,
I mean, I have
and
my computer right here. I can take a look and see.
yeah, and you'll most likely see
Did
that.
the Democrats win the farmer vote? Let's see. What do you guys in the comment section think?
Oh, I know Trump won the
All right,
farmers
give
and
it to
trade
you.
workers.
The farmers do support the Republicans.
Yep.
But in
Well, I
some
mean,
areas, like Virginia, uh, they're very successful in, Oh no, it says Virginia. What the fuck am I talking about? It says the farmers in Virginia are Republican. That's where one of the places are where farmers are Republican side.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen the map of like the
Well,
of the United States
before
counties that voted
they
for.
used to be Democrat.
Well, I
Can
mean,
I to
you've
Virginia?
you've
I don't
seen.
know how America gets.
Oh, I mean, you've seen the. I'm certain you've seen the map of showing Republican districts versus Democrat districts, and you see that Democrats are concentrated in urban city. And by the way, a misnomer is there's similar amount of people that exist in those same spaces. Like Republicans tend to be more spread out in rural areas, and I've known a lot of people from rural areas. They're tend to be pretty conservative. Like I knew some pretty in the service. I know some guys who were like from the country. They were pretty far right. I mean, like that's a pretty common thing. Like being from the country, you tend to be more on the right than if you're like from an urban place. So like
So what you're saying is the country is a safer place to be at because there's no Democrats.
I wouldn't agree with that. Like country folks get up to
Why is the
some
crime rate lower then?
crime rate lower. Well, so if you look at those counties and if you talk to people in those counties, like there's crime. It's different than in urban cities. Like I mean, interact with country people. They're ready to fight at a drop of a hat. I mean, I'm not trying. Like I love country
It's so
people,
hard to
and also,
say. You won't. They won't even fight you in the city. They'll just pull out their firearm on you. They won't even fight you.
mm, well, I mean, I've seen plenty of fights in the city. So I mean, like
Some kids,
they
but
they
if it's like some grown dudes from an urban area,
well, anyways, violent crime has been significantly on the decline for a while now.
yeah. Thanks to Donald Trump, last year we had the biggest drop
David,
in
the
violent crime
trend,
in history. Not in a
the
hundred
trend,
years. In 100 years, the biggest drop in crime. 24% in 1 year.
the trend was was going from like shit. The crime rate's been going down since the 90s.
It was going down.
Like,
except during COVID, it spiked.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, COVID was a once in a lifetime event.
Yeah, but how long did that last for? The crime kept going up.
Well, yeah, the crime went up during COVID because people were losing their jobs.
And now the crime is going down 24% down in 1 year because Trump is locking up the illegal alien criminal bastards.
Illegal criminals? Like, so you believe illegal immigrants are committing crimes more than Americans? Because I'm pretty sure I've seen
they commit crimes by definition as soon as they enter the country. It's not a civil infraction. It's a misdemeanor. I think we've been over this.
Well, from what I understand, being an undocumented immigrant in the United States is a misdemeanor. It's not the same. It's not. Well, it's also inherently like it's not the same.
We're nice. We don't even give them time in prison. We could give them time in prison for that because it's a misdemeanor.
I mean, for a misdemeanor, we're gonna put people in prison for misdemeanors. Are we gonna start putting people
for over a year with a misdemeanor?
Are we gonna start putting people in prison for speeding?
That's not a misdemeanor. That's a civil infraction.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, are we going to
civil infraction?
Civil infraction. Okay, so that isn't that what a misdemeanor is? A civil infraction.
Most of them just get sent home. They can self-deport even when they get caught. They don't even have to go to court, so they don't even have to stay in the ICE detention center. They can just self-deport.
Yes, but those ICE deportation centers are pretty horrendous. Like was it Alligator Alcatraz? Like journalists were not.
Alcatraz is amazing. Do I got to go there right now today and show Alcatraz?
What are you gonna show me? Like there's like 30 detainees to one toilet, mosquitoes, and wasn't it closed down recently?
Prison. It's one of the best prisons in Florida.
I've seen the pictures inside there. It's pretty horrendous.
It's one of the best prisons in Florida. It's the only prison in Florida that has AC.
I mean, so are you? So I've seen images of like these chain link fence tent set up and 30 people to one toilet.
Every prison is like that.
No, not like I have not seen prisons really like what I saw now. What I saw with the pictures of Alligator Alcatraz, and also the mosquito outbreak. What is just asking for a disease, a viral outbreak when you have that many mosquitoes. Like there was a massive mosquito problem, and it was closed down recently. I think what was it? It was like on some sort of tribal land or something like that, and they had to close it down because they didn't get the right approval for it. I mean, like you put people in those places, they may get desperate enough to self-deport even if they're not illegally here in the United States. So, I mean,
well, what American citizens deported?
I said not illegal. Just because you're not an American citizen does not mean you're illegally here in the United States.
Well, back in.
So you just want.
Who has been wrongfully deported?
Oh, what's his name? Kilmore Garcia. Garcia.
No. He's in prison. He went to prison. He came back to America. He went to prison again. Now he's out on bail. He's going back to prison again soon.
So, he was deported to El Salvador, and there was a Pacific Court order saying you cannot deport him to El Salvador. And then he was put in CCOP for a while, and then the administration was ordered to bring him back. They brought him back, and they tried to get him with a human trafficking charge, and it was like he had a bunch of people in his van, and it was probably he was driving to work or something, like carpool.
None of them had documents, and he was driving halfway across the country.
Why didn't they arrest him then? Why didn't they arrest him then? Because it didn't seem like a big enough deal to arrest him then. But then later, when all this attention is brought upon him, now they want to charge him with it. That seems suspicious, very suspicious.
You don't think he's a human trafficker with illegal alien immigrant children in the back of his van? The back of his van, just illegal alien immigrant children in there. You think that's just normal? Like, obviously, whoever pulled him over, he already had a deportation order. He already had a deportation order. When he got pulled over, the fact that the cop did not call the ICE officer right there shows you that officer is corrupt. He's probably working with the cartels.
Then why did he even report it? It was a documented incident. Why report it?
He has to. He has a fucking body cam on him.
Oh, okay. Then how do you know the people in the vehicle were undocumented? Did he check all their documentation?
A Braga a deportation order, and I believe they were illegal. All of them were illegal.
Well, your belief is irrelevant.
What did this bozo just say? United States citizens, children have been deported act. We already fucking talked about this, dude. We already talked about this. The kid had cancer. The mother signed a contract herself saying that she wanted her kid to get deported with her back to Mexico.
So, okay. I'm a little familiar with that case. So
I'm 100% familiar with that. They have her signature.
Yeah, the father wanted custody of the child in question. And in those cases, it's the American parent that takes precedent over the illegal parent or undocumented parent. Or
what is it?
The American parent takes precedent over the undocumented immigrant or the immigrant who is being deported.
What law is that?
I don't know what Pacific law that is, but that's what I understand is if you're an American with an American parent, then you are to be released to the custody of the American parent, unless, I don't know, unless the guy with like
I believe the mother had full custody of the children.
I don't believe that. And also, the judge, a Trump appointee, said in a statement saying the court does not know this to be true because they don't know for a fact that this woman did not sign the documents under duress or even if she signed it at all. And also the courts have been significantly more and more skeptical of this DOJ's claims and proceeding. They've been reprimanded several times. They try to
And Obama was never reprimanded. He never unalived an American citizen that was 16 years old with a drone.
Okay, so you want to talk about that particular case? So Obama, well, for one, that's one case, and with this
Obama dropped 68,000 bombs in the Middle East every weekend on Libya. Boom, boom, boom.
Trump has dropped way more than that. Like even before this Iran war, he's been dropping bombs left and right. He's been blowing up ships in the Caribbean.
Obama dropped the most bombs in history out of any president so far.
No, Trump is the first president to bomb
literally including World War I and World War II. Obama dropped more fucking bombs than literally any president in history.
Okay, can we look that up?
That's why they call him Obama.
Well, whatever. Obama's actions does not justify Trump's current actions. And that's something I keep noticing with Trump supporters is I bring up something he did, then you all bring up something that somebody else did, and I'm not a Trump supporter. I mean, I'm not an Obama supporter. What you just I'm talking about illegal and unprofessional actions from the DOJ, and then you brought up how Obama bombed, the kid was collateral damage, but his father was straight up training with Al Qaeda terrorists or maybe some other terrorists.
Okay, he deserves to die. What about the due process? What about the due process? You're about due process for Abrego Garcia, but the 16-year-old can get blown up all because you just say, well, his dad's a terrorist, so oh well. Come on.
Well,
are we holding the same standards?
So when we blow up terrorists, there is a calculation of value of target.
He wasn't even there. Obama knew he wasn't there. He just boom right on him.
So what? Like I'm pretty sure Obama was targeting the father, who was specifically meeting with and he was killed in the strike too. So he was training with terrorists. He was meeting with terrorists.
His dad was never killed. He escaped up out of there.
So he survived the strike?
His dad wasn't there at all. It was a kid sitting at a restaurant outside and got hit by a drone.
So Obama was just targeting random kids for...
I don't know, for revenge, maybe? I don't know.
Revenge for what? Like, what interaction did this kid have with Obama? What, like, why would Obama care about this kid?
I don't remember exactly, but the kid's father did some fucked up shit to him and embarrassed him. That's what he did.
Well, his father was training with terrorists in the Middle East.
His father did some fucked up shit and embarrassed him. That's what happened. I forgot exactly what. I think he sent a rocket or did a terrorist attack or something, and he was laughing at Obama and said, "We got your ass." I don't remember exactly.
Well, I mean, terrorists do that for every administration. Like every terrorist say, "Haha, we'll defeat this." It doesn't matter who's the president. They always talk. They always
there was
talk
a
shit
wedding
about
day
every
and they
president.
shot AKs in the air.
Every terrorist, like every Islamic terrorist, they do that. They all do that. Like I don't see what's special. And like I guarantee you, he was not the only terrorist doing that during the Obama administration. Obama was president for 8 years, so like terrorists were always saying like, we will defeat Obama, the evil Obama, blah 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 blah, like stuff that Islamic terrorists do. I mean, so like, why take issue with this one particular person? He was meeting with high-level terrorist leaders, so that means there's an opportunity to take out terrorist leaders, and there's an opportunity to take out a guy to diminish the organization as a whole. So, maybe there's some, but. Let's see what we were talking about before you brought this up. We were talking about that 4-year-old who got deported with her mother.
Yeah.
So everything Obama did does not excuse anything Trump has did. Like even if you
every Democrat ever then.
Every Democrat, which one? Can you like just all of them? That doesn't make sense. Just all of them. Can you be a little bit more specific than that?
All of them. Since Wilson.
All of them is not specific.
Every Democrat president since Wilson.
Since Wilson have done what? Bomb Islamic terrorists? Like, what are you talking about?
No, have been horrible presidents.
Been horrible presidents. Okay, what does that have to do with Trump?
Nothing. Just no Democrats.
Then,
Democrats.
I mean, I'm not against talking shit about the Democrats, obviously, but well, Trump is president right now. Woodrow Wilson has been long dead for a while now. He's been dead for like 60 years. And I have a lot of criticism about the Woodrow Wilson and FDR.
Way longer than that. He was the first Democrat. He was the first progressive, I mean.
I do, if I remember my history correctly, yes, he was like the first progressive, and then FDR supercharged that.
He was dog shit.
So what does this have to do with the Trump admin?
That we shouldn't let any Democrats into the Trump admin.
Well, that's an argument against Democrats. It's not really an argument for Trump. And if we're going to say Democrats are so crazy
that we Trump is gas prices are still cheaper now than they were under Biden. That's facts.
They've been going up. they've been going up really fast recently. Like I
We
saw it
had a
myself.
higher. We had a peak of 125 per barrel. I think we're back to like what 100. So prices are
But
leveling out.
the economy kind of moves in a delayed response, and as this war continues,
Nah, I don't believe
and
it does. Not anymore. We're in the super internet age. This isn't the 1980s. The economy moves instantly now.
no, communication is done instantly. Like things still need to be shipped all over the world, and you need oil for that. And if the oil costs more, that's going to make the things that are shipped more expensive. Like the fact that me and you are able to communicate instantaneously does not make that apple come any faster.
Well, how
So,
much are gas prices for you?
like they've been creeping up under Biden. Yeah, well, yeah, I was critical of the Biden gas prices. I was critical of the
So our gas
Biden
prices are
economy.
cheaper then. Aha! Our gas prices are cheaper, aren't they?
Well, we don't live in a static reality. Like the prices have been going up. The other day I was looking at them and they were almost $4 out here in New Mexico. So like they're going up. Like they've been going up and they're still going up. They've not been going down. And now
They
we
were
have a
going
bunch of
down before this Iran conflict, and they'll go down below $1.50 once we get all of Iran's oil.
how are we going to get Iran's oil?
Because we're America. Look how we got Venezuela's oil.
Well, you see, America is not indestructible. I mean, we lost.
America.
Well,
It
okay, so
is.
I have a big hard on for the U.S. military, for our hardware, our training, all that stuff. We're the best in the world, but that doesn't mean we're indestructible. And that doesn't mean we could just take over Iran. And if we do take over Iran, that's going to still drive, like we take over all the oil fields. And that's still going to drive up the cost because we now have to protect them against fundamentalist Islamic nut jobs. And they're still shooting the Sihada, what is it?
They're
Those
gonna protect
drones,
us for
the
free. We're not gonna
Sachi
put
drones,
soldiers
whatever they're
there.
called.
We're not gonna put
Say
soldiers
again?
there. I said we're not
We're
gonna
not
put
going to put
soldiers.
soldiers there. How are we going to get the oil without boots on the ground? How are we going to get the oil?
How do we get the oil from Venezuela? Think about it for a second.
Well,
This is logistics.
well,
They
we
move
got.
themselves to their boats and they give it to us.
They don't give it to us. They sell it to us.
They don't sell it to
And
us.
like Venezuela is fundamentally different than Iran.
Venezuela
Like
gives us oil for free.
that can't be true. But
Um,
anyways, even if that's true, Venezuela is fundamentally a different nation. Like their military is not. They're not like they don't have a military faction that's like religious nut jobs. They don't have the same tunnel
they
network,
are
and we're
religious
able
nut jobs. They're Catholics, I think. But shout out all my
Catholic.
Catholics. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, sorry, yeah. There's a lot of Catholics in the Latin world, but Catholics are not the same as jihadists. Like, I mean, I never heard of Catholics since, well, not since the medieval times, committed the same kind of atrocities or violence that we see from jihadists nowadays. So, and like
So
also, we're talking about people who want to die in modernism, to martyr themselves, to die in their jihad. They want to die to defeat the Western devil, the big devil, as they call us. Like Venezuelans do not have that same religious devotion. They don't want to die just to mess with us. But however, jihadists do want to die just to mess with us. So it's like apples and oranges we are comparing here. It's like it's not the same as Venezuela. Just
they're
not
not
so.
narco terrorists.
Narco
Narco
terrorists are
terrorists are
not this.
tough just like jihadists.
Yeah, narco. Okay, so yeah,
You can go
I'm
ask
against narco.
Tom on my side since he fought against both narco terrorists and jihadists. Ask him which one was easier for him. He probably took lives on both sides of those.
Well,
He'll
I've
probably
known
tell you which one
people.
was harder, fighting against the jihadists or the narco terrorists. So now do
Well,
you understand maybe why our country feels a certain way that they do? Do you understand why Time feels like he does? Because he literally fought against the narco terrorists and he fought against these jihadists. So
I
how can
know
you be
people.
nice to either one of them?
I'm not talking about being nice. I'm talking about we're talking about boots on the ground in Iran and the
We're
fundamental
not
different
having boots on
strategic
the
and
ground.
tactical
You think
reality.
we're gonna have
But
boots on the ground?
if we want that oil, if we want that oil, or if we want that plutonium, we got to have boots on the ground. They have no reason to cooperate with us. They don't trust. They
Sell
trust
us
us
your
far
oil
less
for a
now.
discount then.
Why would they sell it to us on a discount?
Let me explain how it works in Venezuela. This is exactly what we can do with Iran. So it says right here
How?
that I'm going to tell you, U.S. oversees the markets and the global oil sales. We sell people 20 to 50 million barrels. Proceeds from these sales go into U.S. controlled accounts, and then we disperse the money to benefit both America and Iran. That's exactly what we do with Venezuela.
So now we're gonna help. We're gonna help them make more money. Why would we
Yeah,
do that? I thought we were trying to stop them
problem
from
for that
committing.
terrorist. We have to get rid of the terrorist first. Then we could do it.
How are we going to get rid of the terrorists without boots on the ground? They have tunnel networks. Then
They have
and
their
we're
own
talking.
people out there.
They don't have guns. How are they going to
Bunker
uprise against the
busters to
government?
go into tunnel networks.
The tunnel network. Well, tunnel warfare is like one of the hardest types of warfare. Like we saw
Bunker
in the
busters go into
challenges
the tunnel.
that the IDF had in Gaza with tunnel warfare. And we're talking about much more sophisticated tunnel network. And also, we're talking about a larger population. And we're talking about people who actually have experience fighting Americans. The Iranians are not stupid, and the terrain
Well,
is
first off,
very
Israel
difficult.
doesn't use their full force on Gaza because that's simply a part of their land. And second, this is not just the United States, this is both America and Israel. And how can we get
I
in
just
there?
brought it up because of the
They
challenges
literally
they have.
they hit people in Israel all the time with bunker busters and they break through the bunkers they have in there. They have like the most complex bunker network, probably in the Middle East and
And
Israel.
I would say, I would.
Ideology? What the hell do you mean by that? Who you
What do you
talking
mean,
to?
ideology?
Uh,
What?
Super chat.
Oh, okay.
I would disagree with
Uh,
that. The Democrat ideology is slowly being peeled away. Over 10 million Democrat voters lost last year. And the main reason for that was because more than 10 million Americans were disgusted when people celebrated Charlie Kirk's death.
uh, celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk.
Over 10 million young adult voters saw that. They were disgusted and they left the
So,
Democrat
what do
Party.
you think about Trump's true social post saying he's glad that Robert Mueller is dead?
Well, that's between him and his buddy.
Him and his buddy, he's the president, and he said that in a public format. He said he's glad that a
Well,
former
this guy
FBI
was a
director is dead.
criminal. He was a criminal.
I mean, still, like he said, and
This was
also
the same thing to Trump
Trump,
when he dies. What's your point?
well, Trump has been saying
Not
unhinged, deranged.
on his grave when he dies, even if it's in 10 years from now.
Well, Trump has been saying insane, deranged shit for a long time, like after the Charlie Kirk
Yeah.
assassination. So after the Charlie Kirk
These people
assassination, he
mocking
was
videos about it, though. He doesn't mock them every day. The Democrats do.
so after the assassination,
the Democrats mock him every day. They mock his whole family. They piss and shit on him. They don't just make it one. They don't make one comment
I
and
mean,
let it go. They do it
I
every
mock
single day.
Trump every day
Every
too. So
single
what?
day for months. They don't just make one comment on Twitter and let it go.
Okay, I mean, I would tell Trump, put on your big boy pants,
It was awesome.
and
You never
like
dissed the dead before?
I've dissed the dead plenty of times. But
Okay,
also, I'm
so
not the president.
what are you
I'm
starting
not the
to say
president.
then?
I'm not the president. I am not the president of the United States. I am not held to the same standards as the president of the United
I want
States.
the president to mock the dead all the fucking time. Just fuck them. If they're gonna mess with the United States, if they're gonna mess with our president,
Well, what did Robert Mueller do that was so bad?
you don't know what his story was. He made fake Russia bullshit.
Well, according to Trump, that Mueller report exonerated him. According to Trump, he said that exonerated him. And I've done a little brief. Actually, I have a copy. I need to read through it, but it does not really exonerate him. And in fact, there's a part in the report where he's saying, "I will pardon this such and such." I forget the name. If he does not talk to the FBI, and he didn't talk to the FBI, then Trump pardoned him. That was part of the Mueller investigation. Like, it didn't exonerate Trump.
Exactly, it's all fucking fake. That's the
When
point.
you mean it was fake, they found people who were colluding with the Russians, who were talking with the Russians, and Trump
No,
pardoned
they
people who did
didn't.
not talk to the FBI.
No, they didn't. They didn't find the Russia was never working with them back then. What
They
proof?
were
So
in
you're telling me there was voter fraud back in 2016 with Russians? Wherever the fuck the Russians are, we got no evidence
the,
of any of this shit. But you're telling me
so
that the 2020 election wasn't stolen?
so the 2020 election. My opinion on that is a little bit more complicated. But if we want to talk about the 2016 election, I never believed the Russians hacked voter booths. That seems like highly improbable. Like, it was actually explained to me by my dad, who ironically believes the 2020 election was stolen, and he was like the communication guy in like the 80s to like the 90s, like the communication guy in America, like networking and stuff. And he explained
But
to
your
me
dad's
that it's
smart. He
not.
knows his stuff. You gotta listen to your dad. What did he say? Go ahead.
This was a few years ago. I mean, God, it's been 10 years since this Trump stuff started. But anyways, he explained to me that like they would have to simultaneously hack like thousands and possibly millions of voting booths at the same time and make sure they do it in such a way that nobody could find it. So I don't believe the Russians hacked the 2016 election. But what I do believe is the Russians were running and still are running a social media disinformation campaign. And it's not just the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, random different groups out there are running disinformation
Don't
campaigns on
these
social
fake
media.
fucking posts, dude. Though that's the thing. No one believes it. Like, it has
Say
no
again?
effect. You literally click on the account now on Twitter and it tells you what country it's in.
Yeah, that was a recent change, but they're still, they're still doing it.
They
I mean,
have
of
that on
course they're going to.
Instagram and Facebook and everywhere now. Not even a VPN can change it.
They're going to continue to try, and they've been doing this for like since the 2010s. They've been doing this for a really long
Okay,
time,
it doesn't
and
affect elections. And you know, a fun fact, I
yes,
was
it does.
researching something.
It absolutely does. Like, I watched this documentary recently, The Social Dilemma, where all these
Well, then these people are forcing the
Silicon
Democrat Party
Valley.
then.
So it's not just the Democrats who could manipulate the algorithms. Like, if you like, from my phone right now, if I wanted to, I can learn how to set up a bunch of bot accounts and like just drive traffic to certain subjects or promote certain messages. And it's not even that hard. Like, yeah, I mean, you've been seeing all the AI
The
slop
reason
that's all over
Biden
social
cheated
media.
is because he used China bots and Ukrainian bots when he was over there in China and Ukraine collecting those billions of dollars.
Who was collecting billions of dollars?
The Biden crime family.
Okay, the Biden crime family. Okay, all that stuff. So I have seen some sketchy stuff with that, but even if I take the maximalist position on that, like Trump has been doing way worse than that. Like he did his crypto coin days before he was inaugurated. He did his crypto coin. He made billions of dollars off of that. And if a Democrat did that, like all you Trump supporters' heads would have like
Democrats
exploded.
do that.
Like what? You got something that's similar to fight coin?
It's legal. Every influencer on social media does it. Are you gonna buy my Trump 2028 coin?
Yeah, that's
what
do you think? What do you think of Trump's fight coin? And by the way, we have no idea who's giving money to him.
It's like a trading card. Why can't you make a novelty coin?
Well, to me, it looks like a bribing operation. You give him $1 million through the fight coin, probably more than that,
well,
and then you get what you want. And there's no way to trace it back to the person who gave him the money.
That's not how cryptocurrency works. Blockchain, you can trace everything on it.
Not really. He's been getting lots of money from the fight coin,
and
we don't even know who's giving him money.
Cryptocurrency wallet today.
Wait, isn't that disconcerting that anybody can just give the president money?
Wallet today and see. No, because blockchain, the whole purpose of blockchain is having the chain of blocks so you can see where the crypto
is Pam Bondi going to prosecute Trump? No, she's not. She's
States
absolutely
can prosecute Trump, though. A state can bring charges against the president.
Well, what charge are they going to bring against him? Like that's going to. Well, I mean, I don't even.
Not a criminal. Thank you. There you go.
I don't even know. Well,
actually, no. The evidence that Trump sells pardons?
Actually, cryptocurrency needs a lot more regulation. By the way, Trump has been massively deregulating it, and he's been getting billions from his fight coin. Isn't that
the regulations that the Democrats want? Is they want control over your cryptocurrency. That way, we can make you do everything we want. We can control your money.
We regulate money right now.
Control the banks. Just like how the Democrats control the banks. Did the Democrats not steal bank accounts from Republicans a couple years back?
When? Who? Where?
Biden.
Biden? Okay. Where? What? Who was harmed? Like, how did he do it?
Nick Fuentes, some other right-wing influencers.
Nick Fuentes had his banking account stolen by Biden.
By the Democrats.
Is that what you're saying?
Accounts.
They
debanked them. Multiple people got debanked.
So is it not the bank's right to provide services to not provide services to people? But anyways,
can't debank you out of the blue for your political opinion. That's against the constitutional rights. Freedom of expression.
Yeah, that's and I believe there needs to be a better culture around freedom of speech.
That's a federal bank.
Federal bank. What bank? What? What bank?
I have no idea. Maybe it's not a federal bank. I think it's connected with the federal bank, though.
Connected with a federal bank.
I don't know what the honest reasons were behind it. I'm not a lawyer.
Okay, then.
But they literally admitted to it. They admitted to debanking people. J.P. Morgan is getting sued right now by Trump. They're going to have to pay him billions of dollars for debanking him.
Well, isn't it slightly inappropriate for a sitting president to be doing people?
If you do some fucked up shit, should the president retaliate or just take it like a bitch?
I think the president should not be suing people while in office.
He can sue whoever the fuck he wants. Does he not have the same constitutional rights as you and me?
But his position gives him undue power over whoever he's suing, and that's a norm he's been breaking among many, many more. Like other presidents did not sue people while in office.
So you're telling me no other president sued anyone when they were in office?
I don't know, maybe there was someone who did, but that's not normally done by presidents. Presidents do not normally sue people while they're sitting in office.
According to who? Let's take a look. According
American
to who?
history? American history? Like, I mean, what, the presidents not filing lawsuits while they were sitting in office? Like, they ain't somebody out there to decree this particular
Presidents
fact.
have literally throughout history sued different news sources for defamation and whatnot.
In office?
Yes.
Okay, let's look at an example. Can you bring up a recent example of a president suing
Theodore
somebody for
Roosevelt, 1913. Roosevelt sued the publisher.
1913? Theodore Roosevelt wasn't president in 1913. I believe that was Hoover who was president then. Like, he wasn't president then. Like, why are we talking about a president suing when
Sorry,
they're out of office?
1901 to 1909.
1901 to 1909. Okay, so he sued them in 1913. He was no longer in office.
He was campaigning.
Campaigning.
For a
Okay,
third
that's
term.
inappropriate. Well, then it would have been inappropriate if he won and he continued to sue them. But also, he was not in office, and also that's 1913. That's over 100 years ago.
So it doesn't matter if other presidents did the same exact.
And also,
Oh, is there some kind
it's a norm. Like, yeah, sure.
of stuff all the time?
So it's legal for me to make a pro map argument right now. I'm not going to do that because that's disgusting. I'm not even going to bring up an example. I can do that.
What?
That would be
That is such a
legal.
Democrat thing to say. Jesus. Holy Christ.
Well, I'm not a Democrat, but like, I can legally make that argument right now, and that would be legal. That'd be completely, it would be disgusting, absolutely disgusting and reprehensible, and I would suffer massive reputation harm doing that. But legally, I can do that. Should I do that? No, absolutely not. I mean, that's disgusting, and I'm not going to do that. But like,
But you
just
have
because it's
before in the past.
what?
Have you before in the past?
Make a pro map? No, I
Okay.
am never. I have never. I have never been pro map ever in my entire life.
You're not a Democrat, diddler.
Who's been making a pro map argument in the Democrat space? And can you give like leadership, like some sort of leadership
Gavin
example of that?
Newsom. Gavin Newsom.
He made a map argument.
He basically did. He didn't literally do it, but
Basically, did he
theoretically
do
he
it or
did do
not?
it. Theoretically,
Theor-
yes.
I don't care about theoretically. Did he do
Getting
it or
pro
not?
trans kids is kid diddling.
What?
Also, he passed
Trans
a
kids
law
is
for
not
kid
kid diddling.
diddlers. He passed a law for kid diddlers. He said if a minor child is wearing some kind of lingerie, you cannot go up to them and ask them if they're a sex worker or investigate them in any kind of way.
I don't know the reason for that, but that's not a pro kid diddler argument. And I've seen kids wear
That's
some.
him. There is a pro kid diddler argument. He didn't have to make the argument. That's what I'm saying.
That's I'm not seeing how that's a kid diddler argument. Like, should we just because kids are wearing inappropriate clothing? I'm not for that, by the way. But like, should we just be harassing kids who are dressed in
Oh,
a
are you
certain way?
really making an argument for this? Yes. If you see a child that is dressed up, if you see a child that is dressed up like
Sorry
that.
about that. Sorry, I was trying to check something.
Hold on, I gotta cut back in. Hold on, give me a second.
Okay, I'm new to this live streaming. I thought I could play this in the background. Okay. So law enforcement be going around and asking kids that they believe are wearing suggestive clothing, whatever that means, are you a prostitute?
They should say, "What are you doing?" They should be able to question them.
Okay. So let's say a kid is wearing suggestive clothing and alone at a corner. Okay, I think we
What?
can agree. If a kid is wearing suggestive clothing and is alone and also like on the street prostitution for children, that cannot be common.
Try California. It probably is a little bit more common than you know of.
Or is it probably or is it is?
Oh, it
Is it
is more
happening?
common.
It
Does it
is more
happen?
common.
Yeah. Does it happen? Yeah. Don't
Is
go
it
looking for
common?
it though.
Oh,
What's
and of
common?
course I'm not gonna. Of course I'm
What's
not gonna go looking for it.
what's common?
Is what's common? I mean, if I go in LA right now, would I be able to find a child prostitute working the street?
Yes.
That wow, that felt weird to say out loud. um,
Whatever you do, do not. Whatever you do, do not.
well, obviously, I'm not going to do that. But
Whatever
if
you do, do
there,
not
it
put
was
that
common.
and post that.
If it was common, then Nurk Surly Dipsit should be investigating that instead of showing up to a random business and saying, "Hey, let me film your
Oh, he will.
kids." He will. Okay, so he will expose
No,
the
there's videos like that
widespread
out there already. I'm sure you found them before.
child prostitute. I have not. I have not
You
seen.
can just call it kid diddling. You don't gotta say the whole thing every time. You can just say kid diddling.
I'm going to call it
They might
child.
have there in New Mexico somewhere.
I have never seen that.
Never.
I have never seen a child work in the corner once in
Where
my
have you ever
life
been to the worst
anywhere.
part? The worst part of New Mexico?
I've been to Espanola. I never seen that in Espanola.
No kid diddling.
Not out in the open, and I never saw a child work in the streets in that way.
And how do you know? Were you looking for it?
Well, of course I wasn't looking for it, but I've never seen a child just walking the street wearing like prostitution clothes, soliciting people for that kind of services. I've never seen that. And I've been to Mexico a couple of times. I saw adult women being prostituted, but I never seen a
I'm
child
telling
work in
you,
the corner.
okay. Fine. Maybe it's rare,
Okay, so
but could you
yeah,
find it in LA? Yes.
I I imagine it's extremely rare. Like I can't imagine
Oh,
police.
you can find it there. You can find anything you want.
That
That's
that
Epstein's second
that
home.
sounds like a terrible idea. You would get exposed really quickly. I mean,
Then
kids.
don't do it.
Well,
Then why the fuck
obviously,
are
I'm
you
not.
asking me where to find it?
No, no, no. I'm talking from the perspective of the people who are doing that. That would be a terrible idea, and also that's
How
not
did
how
you
those
know their
ring.
age? How did you know those women's ages, by the way?
Well, they didn't look like children, and also it's Mexico,
Don't
and
start
they
putting off
were
on. They were children. You
they.
looked directly at them.
I looked directly at them. They were fully grown adult women. Like, I mean, what does Mexico have to do with child prostitution in
Did you
America?
see everywhere else?
What do you mean? I haven't been all over the world, obviously. I mean, I've never seen that in the United States, and I never noticed that in other countries I've been to. I've seen prostitutes, but I've never seen a child prostitute.
Okay. Where else have you been? Have you been to South America?
No, I haven't been to South America, but what does that have to do with California?
Well, I don't know. Well, why have we been talking about this? Does it matter if there's rare or common? Why does it matter?
Well, you said Democrats were making
It's
map
gonna be more
arguments, and then
common now. It's gonna be more common now that Gavin Newsom's letting these kids walk around with this shit on.
it's going to be more common now. Is it happening more? Because
Now
I
they
feel
can
like
do it out in public. Before they couldn't do it legally. Now they can
I
do it out
feel
in public.
like I feel like this is going to be forgotten about in a few weeks from now, and nothing's going to happen with it.
What do you mean? I mean, it's already been a few months.
I mean, the amount of times I have heard Trump supporters say this thing is going to undo America, this thing is going to do this, that, and horrible thing. I see nothing
Is
happen.
it just because nobody does it? Does it make it so we should legalize it?
Is it legalizing child prostitution?
Kill diddlers are rare. We should just legalize it. Is that your thought process?
Does this law legalize child prostitution?
It encourages it. That isn't that just as bad?
So you want to make it
Mr.
illegal
Big
for?
Boss, big bosses don't drop $2 super chats. I am letting him talk. And that this sir
Okay,
wishes he was Charlie Kirk. They can't stop talking about Charlie Kirk. They can't get Charlie Kirk's dick out of their mouth. Because that's all they think about. Charlie Kirk owning the libs. Yes, if a law encourages kittle diddling, you should not legalize it. Don't pass
also,
any laws that encourages kittle diddling. You know, P.
can
Diddy,
you?
kids kittle diddling.
Okay, P Diddy was on the East Coast. I don't know why we're talking about P
It
Diddy.
doesn't matter
P
on
Diddy.
what coast. Okay, Gavin Newsom then.
Well, we're talking about. I thought we were talking about Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom.
So you said Gavin Newsom was your go-to for Democrat leadership arguing for MAP. And I feel like you have not presented sufficient evidence for to convince me, at the very least, or to convince anybody outside of people who support Trump.
That's not the only law he passed. He passed transgender and kid laws,
Like what?
like allowing kids to transgender, cut off their wieners. Like, what the fuck you mean? What else? You never heard
I
about
mean,
his
like,
transgender laws? Are you trying to pulling my leg right now?
I'm trying to figure out exactly what you're talking about. Like, I don't just accept assertions.
You haven't seen any of the laws that Gavin Newsom passes. Would you like me to read you one? Are you going to say that transgendering kids is not kittle diddling?
It's not good, but it's not kid diddling.
How is it not kid diddling?
Are the doctors performing sexual acts on the children?
I would say cutting a kid's wiener off is a sexual act. Yes. I mean, by
I
fucking definition, it is a sexual act.
Yeah, in a
Literally by
medical
definition.
and
So what do you
and a
mean is it a
medical
sexual act?
procedure, but also this transgender stuff. Like everybody's been cutting way back on this, especially in Europe. Last time I checked, Europe they've been cutting back on it. They're like, maybe we should wait until after puberty, and they've been finding that. Well, I mean, again, I'm not really for transgendering, but they've been finding if you transgender them before puberty, you produce a lot of problems for them and all that. And they've been finding all these medical issues when transitioning people too young, and people have been rolling back on that. The Democrats have been rolling back on that because it hurt them significantly during the 24 election. So, like, this issue is becoming less and less of an issue. And also, it was never a big issue to begin with in the first place. It was like a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage of kids who were even on puberty blockers. We're talking within the thousands, like the thousands. We're talking about in the thousands. Like, should we destroy our whole republic for just such a
Is it what?
small
Is
problem?
it too much? Or are we just going to sit along and let that happen?
Okay, so say Ted Bundy has come back from the dead. He's out in the woods and he's killing again. So we nuke the forest that he's in, that'll get rid of it. That'll get rid of him.
What are we gonna do that's gonna nuke it? What's this quote unquote nuke? Saying to stop Kittle Diddlin, that's nuking
it? I'm saying we should stop it in a way that we don't destroy the republic and turn it into an authoritarian
How are we going
shithole.
to destroy the public by saying that we don't want kids to chop off their wieners and not making that legal?
You're destroying the republic by supporting an authoritarian lunatic.
Who, Gavin Newsom?
Trump is an authoritarian lunatic.
Define
by supporting
authoritarian.
him. Authoritarian, believing all powers should reside in him, that nobody should question his authority.
He's asked Congress multiple times for multiple things. Give an example of him being like this.
Being an authoritarian, first day, he tried to get rid of the 14th Amendment with an executive order. The founding fathers were never attending that. Regardless of what you think of the 14th Amendment, the fact that he tried to get rid of it through the executive order means if that worked, then
that's exactly what it means. This was not for illegal alien immigrants' children.
So
this was made specifically. This was made specifically for slave children to have citizenship.
That's your argument you should have at a constitutional convention. Trump was trying to get rid of it via executive order. If that worked, then that means Democrats could get rid of the Second Amendment through executive order.
Yes, no, that's not what it means. It's because cut and clear and dry, that's not what the 14th Amendment says. What's the 14th Amendment?
He tried to.
What does the 14th Amendment say?
It is if you are born within the lands of the United States, you are an American citizen.
That's not what it says.
Well, it was originally made for the slaves, but it is meant. Well,
it was originally made for the slaves. Thank you.
Well, Trump tried to overturn the 14th Amendment with an executive order. He tried to do that. That is authoritarian. We do not want the president
to just do an executive order that every other president did an executive order. So when Trump does an executive order,
no other president, and if you could bring up an example, I will condemn that too, has tried to get rid of an amendment through an executive order.
He didn't try to get rid of the amendment. He just tried to change the meaning of the amendment.
Then go through Congress, do your job, and work with Congress.
He was trying to change the meaning of it. He was trying to tell you how it was perceived.
He has a Republican majority. Why does he not work with Congress? He's refusing to work with Congress, even though
he has a Republican majority. We're not trying to change the Constitution. We're just trying to tell you that it says for slaves right here, right there. What I'm looking at right there, it says for enslaved people. So how is it not for enslaved people?
Okay, that's a legal argument to have with the Supreme Court. This is not something
the president what he had. That's literally what he had. Order. Okay, we agree then. You just told me it was an argument that he should have with the Supreme Court, correct?
Yes.
And that's what he did. He did the executive order, and then he went to the Supreme Court and he argued it. So you agree with what Donald J. Trump did? Woohoo! We're
absolutely not. I'm absolutely not. I'm not for deporting people
that's
who
are
born
he ended in the United States. Court.
I am not for deporting people who are born in the United States, who have lived their whole life in the United States, who only know America and only know English and only knows this country
only if they were just born here and their family's illegal. Or they were born here and their family was illegal. Yes, then we can deport them.
Just deport them.
But if their mom or their father decides to get citizenship, then guess what? They're legal.
Well, good luck getting a citizenship now.
Why? Citizenships?
Because Trump has fired a large segment of the immigration judges, and now he is encouraging
2 million people last year got citizenship.
2 million. Okay. Was that through Trump's stupid little gold card?
No, that doesn't. No, this was just regular immigrants. The numbers are literally rising every single year. We don't need more immigrants. The numbers are on the rise every single year, year after year.
Okay, that's an argument for immigration, but you just said that these illegals should become, if they have children who are born here, they should become American citizens. If they try to go through the legal
If not, they
process,
should be
they're gonna get
deported.
deported. They're gonna get deported. Now, why should
Yes.
he? Why you're disincentivizing them to go through the legal process?
No, they need to go through the process before they or they should get deported.
Okay. And so are you for deporting the people who have gone through the legal process, like asylum claim seekers, like most of the people who were sent to CCOP?
If they were fake asylum seekers or they were criminals,
They
absolutely.
were Venezuelan refugees. They were fleeing a communist
Refugees.
authoritarian dictatorship.
They were gang members.
But according to who? Trump? Gay hairdressers?
United States
What?
Homeland Security. No, Trump didn't
They
personally look
haven't.
over it.
They people
Wait.
have.
Take your Trump derangement syndrome away for a second. Trump did not personally look over these people. This was the same Homeland Security that was under Barack Obama. The same guy, Tom Homan, that worked for Barack Obama, is the same guy running ICE now.
Yeah, and Tom
Homeland
Holland should be
Security.
in prison.
It's the same guy that Barack
Tom Holland should
Obama
be in
used.
prison.
For
He should
what?
be in prison
For
for
what?
taking bribery.
What
He
bribery?
was
He
given
didn't take
a
bribery.
undercover FBI agent gave him a literal bag of money, a paper bag of money. They had it on video recording, and they gave it to him, and they were holding off on prosecuting him until after the election.
That was
And
already
now that
disproven and disbanded out of court.
how was it disproven? They have him taking the money on video. They have audio recording of him taking the money,
I can't
agreeing
remember
to
it off the
give
top of my head, to be
contract.
honest. I haven't been paying too much of close attention to this exact subject on Tom Holland. But I do remember it was disproven.
But Trump saying it was disproven means nothing.
Well, I mean, it's disproven. I never
Well,
said I heard it from Trump. Everything doesn't have
the
to.
case hasn't. They have
They
not gone
dropped the
through
case. That's it. They dropped the case because there was no proof.
because Pam Bondi is now the attorney general, and she's been killing all the investigation against Trump and all of his friends.
Let's see. When did he drop his case? Let's see. His case was I don't know. There is no proof of it. There is no proof of him doing any of that. He doesn't need
But
$50,000. Look up his net worth. He's a millionaire.
$50,000 here and there. Like I doubt this is the first bribe he's taken. And I bet he's probably taken more bribes since he's been in office.
No, this is just a conspiracy theory. Something that's not proven is a conspiracy theory.
If he took a bag of money, that's not the first time he did it. That was the first time he was caught doing it.
There's no proof of it. There's no video of it.
Because the DOJ has the video evidence and they haven't released it.
Why didn't they release it under Biden then?
Because it was happening right like towards the, and I have a lot of problems with the Biden DOJ. They seem to be very tepid and weak. They weren't going at their prosecutions of the fear to seem political, but they were waiting until after the election to go through with it because they knew probably Trump was going to kill it if he won the election.
Why
And
didn't
he
they hurry up and
has.
put him in prison if they knew he was going to kill it?
But they don't just, so they catch you committing a crime like bribery. They don't just immediately throw you in prison. They gather up evidence and they see, and
You said they were waiting. You said they were already. You said they were waiting. That's why.
yeah, because it happened very near the election.
So why did they arrest him? They arrested Trump 4 months before the election. So why didn't they arrest him?
They didn't arrest Trump. They convicted him. 34 felonies, if I remember correctly.
charged him with crimes and took his mugshot. That's what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the Georgian election fraud case?
I don't know which one, but the famous mugshot.
Yeah, that was in Georgia.
Yeah, that was in Georgia. I remember that, but yeah, that one, 4 months before the election. So why couldn't they charge
Do
Tom
you?
Homan?
Yeah,
You said why did they charge
because
him?
because you have to build a case first.
You said
When
they
you
were
talk,
waiting to charge him.
yes, because they just got the evidence. They don't just arrest you right away. They have to build a case because the DOJ, back before Trump, they like to have a guarantee that they were going to win the case before they brought it to trial. That was a common DOJ practice. Is like, because like before Trump, they had something like a 98% conviction rate. They had like an insanely high conviction rate. So they made sure to cross all their T's, dot their I's, make
They
sure they have
still
all their
have a
evidence together.
98% conviction rate.
No, it
They still
doesn't. It's been dropping significantly.
dropping
Like
from what?
the
3 politicians? Are you talking about a politician conviction
not
rate, or
just
what are you talking
not
about?
just politicians. Like judges have made like many judges have made statements saying we no longer accept the what is it normacy, like the assumption of normacy. Like
What the fuck are
you
you
if you want.
on about now?
But the judges there are becoming increasingly distrustful of the DOJ because they keep bringing up bullshit cases
Bro thinks he
and
can
like
just
the
say fake shit.
where
Sarah,
he
shut
was.
your mouth. America is not a bad country.
That's not me. I'm not saying America's a bad country. I'm saying Trump's a bad president.
Leave then, Sarah. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm reading the comments. Sorry.
Okay.
What's up, Tom? Yeah, he's talking about Homan, supposedly taking that 50K cash bribe in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't the cash bribe from an undercover FBI agent?
Yes.
So why
That's thing
didn't they just arrest him there?
because they wanted to build a case for
They fucking
against him.
have all the evidence they're ever gonna get.
No, there's probably more evidence because when somebody takes a bribe like that, they probably took more bribes in the past, and they were probably investigating him and building a case against him because, like, when the DOJ slaps cuffs on you, you're pretty much guaranteed to go to prison. And that's because of all the legwork they did beforehand. It's like the cuffs do not have magical powers. If they're slapping cuffs on you, that's because they did the legwork beforehand. They know everything you did, and they're going to bring it to trial. They're highly like the DOJ is pressing charges against you, at least they used to. They were highly confident that they were going to convict you, and they did not have that a high level of competency when they caught Tom Holman taking a bribe. There was more work to be done because, like, okay, let's say for example, he did take the bribe. Like just to say for whatever reason, 100% he took the bribe. Do you think that would be the only bribe he's taken? Like when corrupt government
Probably.
officials take bribes, probably. I doubt it. $50,000. I bet you he's taken a lot more bribes than that.
Well,
I
how do
mean,
you know?
the man's in his 60s. He's been in government for a long time, and he would have just decided to randomly take $50,000. Like that's not how corruption
No,
starts. You don't start
the
off with the
case
big stuff.
details?
Say again.
Do you know the case details?
Just a little bit, like just what I told you.
So you just know he's guilty. You don't know anything else.
He took the money. There was probably more crimes. I don't know about the other crimes, but there's almost certainly more crimes if he took a $50,000 cash bribe. By the way, it's like that's so like old school. That's like something out of the 1980s. level of corruption.
AOG Bove called it a deep state operation, and the case was under Bove, not Bondi, like you said. How about Hunter getting all
I
that
said
money
that.
from
I
you?
said that.
How
I
about
said
Hunter
that. I
getting all
said the
that money
case
from
was killed
Ukraine?
under Bondi. The case was killed under Bondi. That's what I said. The case was brought before Trump
How
won
is
the
it Trump's
election.
fault that dude took money if it was real?
What if Holland? It's obviously his fault, but Trump having him in his cabinet speaks a lot about his character. Taking somebody in his cabinet who took $50,000 in cash, in bribery cash. Like, I'm going to put somebody like that anywhere near any
How do you know if
organization
it's
that I'm
real or fake
involved,
if they never went to court for it?
because Trump won the presidency, and the case was going to be killed, and it was killed. It was
Isn't
killed
it
under
innocent
the.
until proven guilty?
Well, yeah, that means we can't just throw him in prison. That
We're
doesn't
not
mean we
talking
can't.
about Trump taking $50,000 for a
Okay,
comment.
Biden ain't guilty of anything then. He was never convicted of anything.
Okay, fine. Everyone's innocent, then that's perfect. And it's
No,
not how
like
cases work
I
at
brought
all.
that up. I brought that up to promote, to
That's not
show
how cases work at all. So you don't think anyone's
okay.
fault charged or for political reasons?
Okay. OJ, they were not able to prove in a court of law that he murdered his wife and her lover. Does that mean he did not do it? Does that mean we cannot look at the evidence and come to our own conclusion,
No,
use
we
our
can't come
own
to a
mind?
conclusion. We weren't in that courtroom. How?
How did OJ? He's not. He did not. He
OJ is
died a free
innocent
man, not in prison.
for
He definitely did it. He
for
definitely did it.
Hunter.
But you, but OJ definitely did it. There was nobody else who had motive to murder his wife, and he was stalking her for a long time before the murder. And
Okay, what
like
about
he was the only possible
10%
suspect.
to the big guy? You okay with 10% to the big guy?
No,
Joe Biden admitted
uh,
to selling state secrets.
Joe Biden admitted to selling state secrets.
Yeah,
What state secrets?
he took those files too. Those are state secrets. But they said he
But
was
you
too
said he
old and
sold them.
too old
You,
and too incompetent to stand trial. That's what they
mm-hmm.
determined. That's the only reason he
That
didn't get
was
charged.
one aspect of the report that was written up afterwards. And also, from what I understand, people who are vice presidents or presidents, they very often like they take notes. So if you're like in a skiff, like say on the raid of Bin Laden or something like that, and you take notes, that's considered classified documents. And I'm sure he wrote it down and then forgot about it and left it in his car. And also, that's not even comparable to the Mar-a-Lago case because Trump
Also,
had
OJ's
boxes
cases,
of.
there was other motives, like his wife owed money to drug dealers and whatnot. So there was plenty of motives out there.
Okay, that's interesting. I have not really heard anybody argue for the innocence of OJ. That's a new one for me. But Trump, what Trump did was magnitudes worse than what Biden did. He had boxes and piles of documents, and he was
Biden
showing them
had
to.
the same piles of documents.
He did not have boxes of documents. He was not
Yes,
hiding
he
it in
did.
janitor.
He had
He was
boxes of
hiding it.
documents sitting next to his Corvette in his Delaware garage.
Okay, and what happened when the DOJ requested them back?
He literally got raided. He couldn't remember they were there.
He
He said
gave
he
them
didn't remember
back
they
when
were
they
there.
requested. He was never raided. When they
Trump
asked for
tried to
them,
give those boxes back when they requested them too, and they said, no, it's okay, keep them. You have the
no,
right to.
he was moving them around. He was hiding them
He was
in
not
different
moving them
places.
around.
And
They were literally
did
sitting
you
in his
look up the
house.
images of the Mar-a-Lago raid? They were
Yeah, they
taking
tore
so
out
many.
everything and drug everything everywhere.
I'm talking about the classified documents they took pictures of. So there's a piece of paper.
Yes, they dragged them out. They pulled them out everywhere.
Okay. And they were requesting for those documents for 2 years.
They offered them months and months before.
Every time they came over, he hid them in a different room, and they did not get the documents back until they raided Mar-a-Lago. They found
you can't hide shit from the FBI searching your house, moving them to a different room. What are you talking about?
They did not secure a warrant because Merrick Garland was trying to avoid the appearance of being political, and he requested this is all documented. They were requesting for it over and over again, and they couldn't get the documents, and they got the documents when they did the raid. And then when they did the raid, there's a piece of paper you're supposed to put over classified documents when you take a picture of them. They ran out of those papers to the point where they had to grab random paper and improvise their own little cover sheets for the classified documents. That's how many documents were in Mar-a-Lago.
The president can declassify those documents.
Not when you're out of office.
He declassified them when he brought them home.
No, that's not how it works. There's an official process to declassify it, and he did not do that. He just took them home.
He did not have to give them back. It is a courtesy as the president and also has full authority to make any document unclassified.
When they're in office, when you're out of office, you can no longer declassify things.
You think he broke into the White House when he was out of office?
But he took the documents with him without declassifying.
Office.
No, he took those documents with him as he was leaving office, and he did not declassify them.
He declassified
and also, according to your logic,
he took them. They were looking right at him. You think he put them under his shirt and walked out like this?
No, of course not. Like he had a whole staff. And also probably a bunch of those documents were already at Mar-a-Lago because Trump went to Mar-a-Lago a lot during his first term and second term. And he did, like, probably a good portion of them were there. His staff probably just grabbed them and then took them with him because Trump didn't want to lose the feeling of being important. And again, like, you can
beat the case. Time says this dude got quarter of the story. They made up the rest. And the executive, when he talks out the White House, he doesn't have to process this. This was the subject taken by court. So they took this to court already, and they talked about, does he have to process it?
No, it wasn't.
And no.
It was not taken to trial. It was the Stormy Daniels case. It was
taken to court. It was never taken to trial because it was thrown out. It was thrown out, that's why. It was thrown out, but they discussed it already.
Yes, but the Stormy Daniels case was the first case to go to trial. The first case to go to trial. The other ones haven't gone to trial yet. And if Trump lost the election,
the documents case went to trial a long time ago. You can look it up.
No, it did not. They were still investigating him for the classified documents.
No, the documents case already went to trial.
Like, from what I understand, he went to trial for the Stormy Daniels hush money case.
Nope, he went to trial for his documents case too. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm looking it up.
When?
Let's see. In July 2024.
2024. You do know how long these trials take, right? They can take years.
Yeah, he got thrown out like the second or third court appearance. They talked about it for a couple. They had a couple. What do you call it? They had a couple bringing of the court. I forget what it's called. A couple hearings. They had a couple court hearings, like 2 or 3, and then they beat the case. They dismissed the whole case.
Beat the case. Who dismissed it?
The judge, special counsel Jack Smith, and the Judge Alan Cannon.
Okay, that doesn't. So, according to your logic, then Biden did nothing wrong.
That was 40 felonies. They tried to hit him with 40 felonies, and he beat those. Then they hit him with another like 56. Yeah, he beat them.
I doubt if he actually went to trial and it wasn't like attempted to be
If
thrown
your
out, he
case
would have
gets
lost.
dismissed and you go to court, you beat your case.
Okay.
Because for you to beat your case, you have to present something
did
that proves it wrong.
Okay, let's run through some questions here.
No, the president is allowed to declassify the
Okay.
documents. They took this to court already.
Okay, then Biden did nothing wrong.
He didn't go to trial for his at all, though.
No. If we take your logic to the rational conclusion, you can't criticize
Every
Biden
case is
anymore.
different. I don't know what Biden had. I don't know what documents he had. He has to go to court. They both have to go to court. But the reason Biden didn't go to court, the reason Biden didn't go to court is he was not competent enough to stand trial. That's why he couldn't go to court.
There was more to it than that because a lot of vice presidents
there was a
did the
few
same
things
thing he
to it, but
did.
one of the reasons
a lot of vice presidents did the same thing Biden did, and when they requested it, he gave it back to them right away. And is it true or not true that Trump had piles of classified documents in Mar-a-Lago, including janitor closets and bathrooms? Is that true or false?
Is it true that Biden had all of his files out in the open, right next to his Corvette?
I don't give a shit about Biden.
Next to his Corvette.
Trump
next to his Corvette. Trump's documents were under protection inside of his house. His full-time staff and security. Biden's were literally, his garage was sitting open and the documents were there.
That's irrelevant. Like, oh, okay.
It's not.
Your house was locked when you had documents you shouldn't have. Was he?
Biden didn't go to trial. Trump went to trial and he beat 40 classified document felonies. They charged him 40 times for classified documents.
Declassified those documents, and those documents
every single time you start to lose, it's irrelevant.
What? Okay. Biden is not
Trump. So I'm attacking
Who won in 2024? Who won in 2024? Who won the election in 2024?
Biden didn't run in 2024.
Trump won in 2024. Trump had piles of classified documents in his place of residence, and
they decided that they were not classified. They decided they were unclassified.
They were classified. They were classified.
He went to court and he beat the charges.
Okay, stick with me. Did he have those documents?
Stick with me. Trump had been indicted on 40 felony counts related to allegedly mishandling classified documents at Mar-a-Lago.
Okay. I'm going to keep asking this question until I get some variation of yes or
no. He pled not guilty in 2023. Then he beat the charge in July 2024.
Those documents were classified documents in Trump's place of residence in Mar-a-Lago. Was that there?
No.
It was not. So you cannot look up pictures of the classified documents on the internet right now.
At the time, they called them classified documents, but they were really unclassified documents. The Democrats were confused. They didn't know the law again. They're not too bright. They're not too smart.
They were classified. He did not declassify them.
The president has the power to declassify them.
When they're in office.
The president has the power.
When he is in office, not when he is out of office.
He was in office in 2023.
He took those documents with him, and he did not declassify them.
Did
he declassify? Okay. One of those documents was a hypothetical plan to evade. One of those documents was a hypothetical plan to evade Iran. You think that was unclassified?
You know what? I'll read you the Constitution. Since you love the Constitution so much, let's go back to the declassified thing for a second. So you said the president does not have the power to declassify documents. You don't think he has unlimited power to declassify documents?
Out of office, when the president is out of office, they no longer have the power to declassify documents.
Does he need does it say he needs to sign anything, or what says that he needs to sign anything to declassify documents?
You can't retroactively declassify documents, and also there's a process to it.
You can bring them home from the government building to your home and say they're declassified.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No.
Yeah, you can. That's not what the Constitution says.
The Constitution says you can just take classified documents as you're leaving the White House and
Does
then
the Constitution
retroactively.
say that the president has to go to other branches of the government to get authority from them or tell anyone else about it?
Well, there's a process to it. I mean, he can. The president can. The president
Does
can.
the president have ultimate power or not?
The president absolutely does not have ultimate power, and that's absolutely not what the
So
founding
you're
fathers
telling me the
want.
president doesn't have ultimate power over the classified documents? That's what you're saying.
There's a process to declassifying documents, and he
Doesn't
did
have
not go through
ultimate
those.
power. The word is not
Okay,
ultimate. That's what you're telling me.
then Biden
Okay.
taking
Let me
home
read you
the
let me
documents
read you the
with him.
Constitution. Let me read you the Constitution then. Okay. Yes, the president has broad authority. The first thing it says is the president has broad authority to declassify documents and information.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just the AI. Now, here's the part of the Constitution. This power comes primarily from Article 2 of our Constitution. As commander in chief and head of the executive branch, classification and declassification are ultimately executive powers that flow from the president. All officials who declassify or declassify do it so the president has delegated all authority through executive order.
Okay, did he write an executive order to declassify these documents?
He didn't have to write an executive order, but there is an executive order.
Yes, you do. You have to. You can't just take it home and then later on tell people, "Oh, I declassified it with my psychic powers."
He doesn't have psychic powers.
That was a
What
joke.
these people? No,
I
you
don't think
really
Trump has psychic powers or
really
any much cognitive ability at all.
no. Here's a lot of hold on. I have the article right here. Hold on. Let me pull it up. That's why court threw it out. Out. That's exactly why the court threw it out, because President Trump has the ability to declassify it.
Did he declassify them?
He can.
That's not the question. Did he declassify them before he took them to Mar-a-Lago?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
When and how?
It says right here, fact check explores presidential authority to declassify.
He has presidential authority to declassify, but he has to exercise the authority for it to be legitimate. Did he declassify those documents? I'm not asking if he has the authority to, if he
Has
had
the
it.
authority to declassify anything just by saying it's
Did
declassified.
he declassify them? Did he?
Most
Did he
national, huh?
did he declassify those documents before leaving office?
The president can declassify something by saying it's declassified.
Yes, he can declassify things that are classified. Did he declassify
He
those
doesn't
documents
have to
before he
say
took
he
them?
declassified it. That's why they dropped the case.
What? That cannot be true. That cannot be true.
That's what they
That
didn't even know they dropped the case. He doesn't have to do
I
the
do.
process.
You have to do
I
the
hear
process.
Biden had declassified documents at his house, and he didn't get charged with it. One of the reasons was
Well,
because
according
he was
according
too old to go to trial. One of the reasons. Second off, they found those documents were declassified because the president said he declassified them, and that's
Obama considered
not.
those documents declassified. From what I understand, they were in his house for like many years
Who
after.
said that, Obama? I said Biden.
Okay, those documents.
And the worst thing was the worst thing was, yeah, Obama had to fucking initialize it.
Mhm. So
So
those documents were, from what I understand, were originally taken from the Obama administration. Good Lord, I need to get better sleep. Anyways, those documents were from the Obama administration. Biden took them home, from what I understand, by mistake, left them in his garage for years, and then when it was discovered he had them, he turned them over immediately. I am not aware that they were.
Did Trump get charged with anything relating to holding those documents for too
Did Trump
long?
have those doc? When did he declassify those documents?
The minute he took them.
When he took, that's not how it works. Then any president could just take
Yes,
documents on their way out. Then
yes,
any president,
what is
any president, including Democrats,
mistake is
can
no
take
excuse for
documents
breaking the
with them.
law.
Any
Mistake is no excuse.
Democratic president could just take documents with them, not tell anybody, and then when they're caught with them, they could just say, "Oh, I declassified them, but I did
That's
it in my
literally
head."
what the fuck they do.
What
That's what all presidents have done.
what legal process is? Oh, I did it in my head. What legal process is that?
That's why it says in the Constitution they have unlimited power.
They don't have unlimited power. It's broad power. Broad is not unlimited. What legal process is I declassified it in my head without telling anybody? What legal process is that?
Classification and declassification are unlimitedly executive power, and they flow where? From the president.
What
That's
process
the Constitution.
did he declassify them in? What process?
Do you respect the Constitution?
I do. Trump does not.
And declassification are
What process did he?
ultimately unlimitedly.
What process did he use to declassify them?
He doesn't have to go through a process.
So what? He doesn't have to. He doesn't. So nobody has to go through the documents and say, "Oh, this is declassified now." Nobody has to go through documents. Nobody has to do any of that. He could just
they have to go through the president to declassify
he can
their
just
documents.
he can just declassify it with his mind. What process is that?
No, Congress has to literally go through the president to declassify their documents because he's the only one that can do it.
Okay, that's not the question I'm asking. The question I'm asking, what
has to be
process
authorized
of
to the president,
declassification is
because he
I
has
got it?
unlimited power.
What
Anyone
process
that
is I thought it?
or declassified documents has to go through the president.
I am not aware of the legal process. I thought I made it declassified in my brain without telling anybody. What process is that?
There is no legal process. That's why the president doesn't have to be a lawyer.
Look up the legal process. No
legal process.
Next time I gotta get my laptop out for this. But can you look up?
Just isn't smart enough to get this not being rude, but the president, any president can take anything home. As the top executive, he has no birds above him because the clear documents. Yeah,
Okay.
you know the executive powers,
No.
the three branches of government. The executive powers, the three branches of government, the president is the top executive power above all else.
Three co-equal branches of government. And also the founding fathers were intending for Congress to be the most powerful of the three branches. So can you go ahead and search process
they all have
of
to go to the president.
Can you look up?
They all have to go to the president. Congress has to go to the president.
Can you look up process of declassifying classified documents?
They all have to go to the president. I did. I told you.
What's the process? No. You looked up if he had the power to do so. What is the process of declassification?
Okay, I'm going to pull you some examples of presidents that just said it's declassified.
Well, Trump didn't say it to anybody. And how can you prove that he thought it at the time? Say that is a like that is a real legal thing. They don't have to
prove it.
Yes, they do. Okay. Can you look up what is the process for declassifying classified documents?
It says yes, several U.S. presidents and vice presidents have taken home classified or sensitive documents, or ended up with all their personal residence
What
or home.
what is the
Sometimes where their
process of
personal
declassification?
property is.
What is the process of declassification? What time is it?
Wrong,
Oh
wrong,
boy.
wrong. Founders and wanted all three to be equal, not one more powerful than ever. Executive hold power for files only, and
Okay.
he's too
What
executive
is
and
the
he didn't to tell
what is
a
the
soul.
okay, I gotta get going here soon. I gotta get ready for bed and shit. But what is the process of declassifying documents?
It's a flexible process. There's no certain process. They can do it in many ways.
Did you Google the process of
It says
declassification?
it says no strict formal process is required for the president's. Legal experts widely agree with the president that they can declassify by verbal order, by a memo, by public statement, or even informally uh, by thinking about it. Literally, that's what it
Thinking
says.
about it? That's
Literally,
law?
that
You
is
could
what
just
it
think about it?
says. That is literally what it fucking says. Do you want me to flip the screen and show you my
Okay,
computer?
let's look up
It
the
literally
legal.
fucking says, or even informally, the famous by thinking about it comment reflects the idea that the power is
Informally?
very
Is
broad and
informally
not
thinking
bound
about
by
it?
agency rules, huh?
Thinking about it? Is
Literally, that
specifically thinking about
I'll
is
word it
thinking about
to
it.
you.
Thinking about it is a form of
It says there's two
declassification.
ways it can be done. It says there's two ways it can be done. The normal declassification power. It's an executive order 1352-5. But then there's a second way the president can do it. It's called the president has. It says the president has broad constitutional authority under Article 2 to declassify almost anything. A no strict formal policy is required for the president. Legal experts widely agree that the president can declassify by verbal order, by memo, by public statement, or even by informally, the famous by thinking about it comment reflects the idea that the power is
Wait,
very broad and
is
not
there
bound
a
by agency
in the
rules.
document you are reading? Is there somewhere that says you can do it by thinking about it, by not telling anybody that you declassify these documents?
Yes, the famous by thinking about it.
The famous by thinking about it. Okay, you said informal. Is there somewhere that specifically says thinking about it? I thought it was declassified, therefore it is. Like what law says that? That does not make any amount of sense.
That's what it says.
You said informal. Where's the thinking? Where's the I thought it declassified, therefore it is. Where is
Okay, it
that in
says,
law?
or even informally, the famous by thinking about it. Comment
Okay, what are
reflects
you
the
reading?
idea
What are
that the
you reading?
power is very broad and not bound by agency rules.
Ooh, just thinking about it. So you don't have to tell anybody that you declassified it as president. That does not make sense.
That's what it says.
What says that? What is saying that? Like I am highly skeptical of that.
By the way, it says when they have people that work for the presidents, like agencies, move these documents around, that they make records for all of them.
You make records for all of them. Okay.
So when they
That
moved them to the president's house, that was literally in the records.
and is it in the records that they were declassified?
He doesn't have to do that, so they didn't have to put it in the records.
They didn't have to put it in record that it was
When they moved
declassified.
it, when they marked it down that it was moved, that's when it was declassified.
Trump declassified them when he moved them to his place in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
So that means it was not thinking about it. There's a documented trail of him declassifying them.
No, he never declassified. All he said is move these documents into my house. That's it.
Then that's not declassifying.
He doesn't have to declassify them.
Yes,
That's
he
the
does.
thing. It
He
says,
does.
or
He
even
does.
by informally by thinking about it, comment reflects the idea that the power is very broad and not bound by agency rules.
Where are you reading that? Because that makes no sense. Where are you reading that?
Hold on, let me give you the exact source. Give me a moment. Let's see.
I wish I could look up things right now. I'm gonna pull up my laptop next time.
Political.
Yeah, I want to see some. Oh, okay. I was just checking if I can turn off my camera on my end.
Biden had crackheads move his files.
So he doesn't have to tell anybody, not anybody.
Nope,
So,
that's the president of the United States. All he has to do is say, move those fucking files into my house. I'm taking that shit. Does it have to
that
tell?
does not sound. What?
Does it have to tell a soul?
Does not have to tell us so.
Hmm?
I gotta get going. It's getting late on my end, but we will come back to this, and I will look into this if thinking about it is a legitimate process of
Make sure you look up
declassification.
the fact that the case got dropped on Trump and he beat 40 felony charges. Make sure you look that up.
I'm gonna look up if he declassified it.
Make sure you look up the part where he beat the case, but okay.
Can you look up the part? Can you look up where Jack Smith said he was
He
100%
doesn't have to
confident that
declassify it.
that cannot be true?
It is true.
Like no government can function this way.
His entire argument is everything has been wrong. Sorry, guess, but you do surface level and I don't expansive research. What can I say? Do y'all have any final questions, comments, super chats, anything y'all want to ask him or me?
Can anybody show me where the law says
That'd
the
be true. Like,
president
bro,
doesn't have to
what?
tell anybody? What was that?
Huh? Motherfucker just goes in circles. The government functioned under an autopen. Did you like that?
With the auto pen stuff, every president used auto pen.
Yeah, but no one
Not every
used
single president.
90% of the time like Joe Biden.
You think Trump manually signed all the pardon documents for the
He
January 6th
signed them
case?
on television.
He signed every single one, all 1,800.
Yeah, he signed more than that in documents on live
But
television.
he signed one broad pardon executive order. He did not individually sign Trump has used the auto pen. Every
The,
president since the auto pen was invented used the auto pen.
What is the
Every
definition?
president.
Formal? Who you asking, me or him or both?
What is he asking?
What's the
Or
definition of
they
informal?
informal?
Just
It's
because
like,
it said no super chats for this guy. Hey, much love, brother. Yeah, what's the definition of? He asked, "What's the definition of informal?"
well, I'm guessing how it means in this particular circumstance is like telling the DOJ or the relevant department, hey, I want these files declassified. And Trump probably did that for the MLK and the JFK files. He told them, I want it declassified, and then they declassify it. Like somebody has to go through the documents and mark that they are no longer classified.
No, they don't have to do that. And if anyone else but the president still, they're classified.
So you think a government
But
can
can we
function?
agree that J. Trump is the best president, and we can get him for 2028. Can we get a big round of applause for Trump 2028?
Be unconstitutional.
The Constitution can be changed. It's been changed 32 times, ratified, and amended. It's happening.
32 times over a nearly 250-year history.
That's basically every 4 or 5 years.
And two of those times were for prohibition.
Okay,
like
and
you can't change the Constitution willy-nilly. It's very rare. 32 times.
That's every couple of years.
That's not every couple of years. Out of 250 years?
That's like
32 times? When was the Constitution last changed? What was it? The 1940s? FDR revoking prohibition? That's the last time I could think of the Constitution was changed.
Pretty recent. Trump
before you and I were alive.
How do you know when I was born?
What are you telling me? You're like in your 80s?
Yeah. What are you, an ageist? That's how I identify. Don't you accept the transgender community?
I don't accept the transgender stuff. I don't believe you. If you call yourself a boy when you're a girl, that you're a boy.
Damn it! I thought you were a Democrat. You can't be a Democrat.
Not a Democrat. Dude. I'm not. I've never been I was a Democrat in high school, but that was a long time ago. I've been a registered Republican for the majority of my adult life.
So why are you voting Kid Diddler now?
I'm voting for Democrats because Trump has proven to be an incredibly horrifically bad president.
Incredibly great leader. That's fantastic.
Yeah, Trump has proven himself to be a uniquely bad president.
Uniquely bad for your mental health. Uniquely bad for your mental health. Okay. Can we get silence on here? Can we get silence on here? Gas is $4. Okay, and cheaper than Biden's. So prices have gone down.
Did gas go up because Biden started a war with Iran?
Yes.
He started a war with Iran.
He stopped multiple wars that he could have stopped. And because he killed 17 of our troops, 18 of our troops.
Well, the death toll is rising under Trump right now. If we put boots on the ground, it's going to go up a lot higher.
We're not going to put boots on the ground.
Then how are we going to get the oil?
Well, who even said we're going to get oil? We're going to get the oil like we did with Venezuela.
Why would he agree to that?
Trump started a war either. Trump never started a war either, just to clarify. Trump never started a war.
He did not start a war with Iran.
No. That's been going since 1979. Did you? I thought you.
Okay, I don't know what your understanding of war is. I've seen the footage of the Middle East. That's a war. That is a war. I don't care. I don't care.
You seen the footage from 1979?
What does 1979 have to do with anything?
They've been killing us ever since and saying death to America.
I'm not pro-Iran. But we started a war with Iran.
No, they started a war with us 47 years ago.
So, do you know when it comes
to these literally said they declared war on us last year.
They declared war on us last year. Are you talking about the 12-day war?
No, before then.
But by the way, by this new definition, the 12-day war wasn't a war either.
No, that's a liberal name.
And also, people in this administration have called this a war. Pete Hegseth's called it a war. Trump has called it a war. Like, the only people who are not calling it a war are, like, politicians and Trump supporters.
This is a war that's been going on since 1979.
So then it's a war.
If you think it's a war, if you want to use that definition, sure. I wouldn't consider it a war.
Is it a war or is it not?
I don't think it's a war.
You don't think it's a war?
No, I don't think a few drones or a few bombs is a war.
We're not talking about a few drone strikes. We're talking about fighter jets. We're talking about actions and reactions. Like Time was telling me about the A-10s that were shooting down the Shahed drones. Like munitions are being used. A lot of people have died in Iran. Like people are getting killed right now. It's a war.
Yeah. It's a war on them, but we're not in a war. They're getting killed by everybody.
We are targeting.
But if you want to say it's a war, it's been a war for 47 years. I don't really care what you label it. Label doesn't matter to me.
We have not been bombing Iran like this since like until Trump came into office. We have not bombed Iran.
They declared war on us. We're literally just defending ourselves.
Do you think there's a difference between a country saying we hate the great American devil and us dropping bombs on them? Do you think there's a distinct difference?
They say that shit, it's over. It's over with.
No.
If they try to build long-range rockets to come hit us and nuke us, fuck them. It's over with.
They're probably not gonna nuke us. They're probably not gonna nuke us.
They said they've been for years and years. They've been saying we probably can't get a nuke, but we can get long-range rockets. We're gonna hit you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they've been building on. You do know that these authorities. You do know that these third world. You do know these third world dictatorships. They saber rattle all the time. Those, like, for example.
How long do we gotta wait until they hit us? They already killed thousands of us.
Until we see.
They've killed thousands of us.
Mm-hmm. Through funding militia groups throughout the Middle East.
No, they bombed us when we were in the Middle East before.
Let's see. Try to
Operation Praying Mantis. They took out 300 of our Marines.
Yeah. That's the one I was thinking of. That was a barracks. That was a barracks bombing, correct?
Huh?
It was a barracks bombing.
No, it was in the ocean.
I remember being told about this when I was in the service. There was
the barracks bombing was in Beirut, I think, or Qatar.
Beirut. Okay. All right. So you think there's a difference between the
Muslim extremists?
Nope. Okay, this is insane worldview. So we okay. So why didn't we go to
the rest of our lives? We try to attack them.
Why didn't we go to what? I never called them the victim.
Who is the victim?
Who is the victim? The civilians who are caught in the crossfire of a war of choice.
Tell them to surrender. Most of the people want this. If it's about the people, then most of the people want this.
They're fundamentalist nut jobs. They're not going to surrender.
Then they don't need to surrender. Take them out.
Easier said than done.
Take them out. Yeah.
Just take them surrender. Out. How are we going to take them out without boots on the ground?
We can get them to work with us. We can work with the terrorists. If we hit a bunch of more of them, we can make them work for us for money.
Well, should we work with them? Should we wipe them out? Should we not have boots on the ground?
We wipe some of them out, and then we offer the remaining good ones some money.
We killed the new supreme leaders, father and wife. We killed them. Why would he work with us? And also, we bombed them twice during peace talks during this administration. So what? We just keep killing people until we get what we want?
Like homosexuals, and he's a homosexual, so that could be one reason.
Biden's a homosexual.
No. Not Biden. Not the new Ayatollah is a homosexual.
Okay. So
that's what CIA data says. They reported it in the news. And his father hated homosexuals.
Well, he's the new Ayatollah, and also they haven't renounced him, and he's still in charge.
Either, but technically he is.
Wait,
Iran
wait,
had
wait.
America
How
over
is him being
100
a homo?
times. Freaking
How
idiot.
is him? How is
What do you
him?
think about-
How is him being a homosexual help us in negotiation?
Because he probably hated his pops and now he wants to work with America because we're the country of homosexuals. That's what they think of us, at least.
Okay,
Anyway, Iran has attacked America over 100 times. You like, what do you think about that?
Iran attacking America over 100 times. Yeah, and a variety of different proxy groups and all that stuff, and
No, it's
including
Iran directly, I think. I don't know.
the Islamic Revolutionary Guard. Yeah, like they do operations all over the United States
Who is
and all that.
Grum? Grum is literally the dumbest human on YouTube. I don't know who Grum is,
Who the
but
fuck is Grom?
yeah, I don't know who that is. That's what someone on the comment section said.
Okay, whatever. I don't care who Grum is.
So okay, so he supports Trump now. Please ask him if there's anything Trump could do for him to stop supporting Trump, like literally anything. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
What?
what's something Trump can do that would cause you to lose support for him?
And if he starts taking up Democrat policies, if he says nope, we're gonna go back and we're gonna transgender kids, we're gonna raise your taxes. Yep.
What if he starts
Yeah, I don't like
opening
Grum. Yeah, who's Grum?
what? Uh, what if he start opening up death camps and started executing random Americans? Would that cause you to lose support for him?
Are you trying to say that's happening?
No, that is not what I'm saying is happening. Would you stop supporting him if he did that?
Of course. What kind of fucking question is that?
Okay, I haven't gotten Trump supporters to even agree to that. So congratulations, you're the first one. I
Wait, who's going to the death camps? Criminals?
don't know. You just want to execute random criminals? So we start executing carjackers,
Not carjackers, no.
not carjackers.
No.
Okay, what about shoplifters?
Yeah.
Shoplifters. We should start executing shoplifters.
No, 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 no. I'm just joking.
Okay. Okay. Sometimes it's a little hard to tell. Well, actually, it is getting late on my end. We've been talking for just over 2 hours. Good Lord, we've been talking for a bit. But I don't know. I'll try to do this more
Yes,
because
I
I
do
kind of
want to
have.
bring back the death penalty to the person that just said that. We already have the death penalty. We never got rid of it. It just doesn't happen too much.
Yeah, the death penalty's been a thing since the inception of the United States. So, uh, should I say my position on the death penalty then? I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I think it should be reserved for like particularly egregious crimes,
PDF files?
particularly no
PDF
pedophiles.
files? Yeah.
The depends on the nature of the crime because let's say somebody raped and ate a kid. Okay, death penalty.
What, what if they just graped a
There's
kid?
some I would like to, but the reason I'm not for that because it gives them incentives to murder the child. So if you get the death penalty for just raping a child, then you have an incentive to murder the child. Then,
Now, if you okay, fine. If you know if you murder the child, you get tortured instead.
well, then that's still depending on the level of torture. Then that well, I mean, we
The
put them in
most heinous
prison
torture
as
you
is
ever seen
now.
in your life.
Then that gives them incentives to murder the child.
Well, okay, fine, maybe.
Okay, and that's
None of them should know what happens to them. They should just know it's something terrible. They should. No one should
well,
know. That way, when
if
they
you grape a child, and or murder a child, then yeah, fucking fry them. And serial killers, I think we should fry them too, or particularly egregious murders, like say somebody tortures somebody
yeah,
for hours
I
before
get your
killing them.
point. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
please, no, 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 no.
What's wrong?
That just sounds horrible.
Oh yeah, egregious crimes. Yeah, but yeah, terrorism is one. So I'm for the death penalty for the guy who assassinated Charlie Kirk because I believe we need to take a hard stance against political violence, like very hard stance against political violence, because countries go to hell very quickly if political violence become acceptable.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So how about we end on that tone, because I need to get ready for bed. I like to get up.
I'll let you go.
You too. I'll make sure to come back, and I won't show off any of my water guns again.
Okay, cool, brother. Thank you. It was fun. Have a good night.
All right. It was. You too. Have a good one.
They are not hilarious. They're definitely not hilarious, sir. But I think we're going to grab something real quick to eat, and then we'll have silence come on here. Cry more? Cry about what? Unless any of y'all have any final questions, comments, anything y'all want to say. Trump got millions more votes than Kamala Harris. Donald J. Trump got millions more votes than Harris. Silence, yeah, silence. Millions more. Yes, yes. Any final questions, comments, any super shots, anything you guys want to talk about? Anything? Demon rats? Well, open boy. Stop this shit. Slap that like button, subscribe most importantly. We'll be back in a couple minutes here. We'll get silence on here. What do you mean Trump say he got a gift from Iran? Breaking news, Trump got a gift from Iran? All right, we'll be back. Peace. Peace.